excuse me, I didn't press.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
The XRP ledger features fast, cheap, and scalable transactions. You can confirm a transaction with finality in about 5 seconds for much less than a penny. In the early days, we thought 30 minutes was super fast, but it's not when a human being is waiting for it, and it's not when you have a chain of dependencies.
SpendTheBits is a cryptocurrency payment mobile app powered by XRP Ledger, a decentralized open source platform.
There's a company in Canada called SpendTheBits that have actually created a Bitcoin wallet that runs on the XRP ledger. You know, Bitcoin as a unit of account, but running on the XRP ledger, so you get the performance benefits of the XRP ledger.
Jay has said to me, when he's ready to go to seed investment, he's going to let me be one of his first investors. So I want to throw that out there.
Wow, you got the blessing of the John Deaton, the White Knight, Jay. Man, kudos to you. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another jam-packed live stream. Appreciate you all joining. Today, I have with me Jaskaran, aka Jay Kambo, CEO and founder of SpendTheBits. SpendTheBits is a cryptocurrency payment app powered on the XRP ledger and more, which we'll get down to in a second. One of those diamonds in the rough, just waiting to be discovered and gifted to the world. How you doing, Jay? Thanks for joining us, and I'm excited on that alpha that you're gonna, in the new announcements that you're gonna share with our community here. How you doing today?
Good, Ray. And thank you for having me on the show. It's feel awesome. Always, feel good to connect with the community.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I didn't have the photo available for us yet. Actually, the photo that I put and used for the thumbnail for this video, where we're next to each other. I got the in the pouring rain with the wet jacket, but that's from the last, where I'm getting at is the last time we saw each other was brushing elbows at the Ripple Proper Party in New York. And that was a special moment because even the last time I saw you was at the XRP Las Vegas conference when you displayed SpendTheBits on stage and were even introduced as seen in the intro by John Deaton. I'd love, if you don't mind, I'd like to play that introduction for the audience that John Deaton had shared for you, just so they can better understand, how important this interview is and why people are passionate in your corner for the technology that you're building. If you don't mind, I'm going to press play again.
Yeah, sounds good. Go for it.
Thank you, sir.
I agree with Bitcoin Maxis on one thing. I agree that Bitcoin's a better version of gold than gold. But I also tell them XRP is a better version of Bitcoin than Bitcoin. All right? So I learned, though, I was trying to find a developer who had no connection to Ripple, no money from Ripple, didn't know Ripple, because I needed somebody to show to the court that this isn't just about Ripple, it's about the technology, because it's great that Brad came last night and all that, but we're here because of the technology. And I came across this developer out of Canada, and he had this little company, this app called SpendTheBits. And the first thing I said is, you got any connection to Ripple? John, they don't even know I exist. And I said, well, what's SpendTheBits do? He said, well, I want to fulfill Satoshi Nakamoto's vision. I want to be able to spend Bitcoin. I said, but don't they have that thing called Lightning? And he kind of laughed at me, and he's like, you really don't know shit about technology, do you? And I said, well, isn't that solved? And he's like, no. And so he decided that he was going to take the XRP ledger and utilize it to fulfill the vision of Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, I don't know who Satoshi is. Craig Wright claims to be Satoshi. DAI and others has helped us learn about those 4 people that were interviewed by the NSA for Satoshi. And I really don't give a shit. But I would tell you, the man you're about to meet, in my mind, is today's Satoshi Nakamoto, and you'll see why.
Wow.
Are you the real Satoshi, Jaskaran? Let us know now.
Yeah, if I am Satoshi, then everyone is Satoshi as well.
Oh, man. Well, if that's the case, then everyone's Brad Garlinghouse too, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Well, Jay, I appreciate you joining today, sir. There's a lot going on, and even since I've made this video, which is really highlighting or underscoring your involvement with the XRP ledger, you have since evolved and are now even your chain what you're building is interoperable. Your payment app, and I'd love for you to, one, give the audience here a brief introduction of you, and then we'll go into the nuts and bolts of what SpendTheBits is. But I really want you to underscore the fact that you've been in IT since 2012. You started off working in the credit union space. You've then earned your stars and stripes and implemented ISO 20022 standards in the Payment Canada monetization project. So you're not only building in this space, but you're applying these standards to your customers or clients, or those that you do business with. And I'd love for you to just kind of double down on that and introduce yourself. Floor is yours, sir.
Sure. So my name is Kambo. I'm the CEO and founder at SpendTheBits. It's a fintech company focused on leveraging blockchain technology. Underlying technologies are XRPL, Flare, and Tiger Beetle, just for the centralized purpose of the app. And I've been in the working in the IT space, especially in the financial sector from past 10 to 12 years now. Mainly involved in the banking side of the house, ministry, mobility, pension, all the stuff, as on my corporate job. And one of the project that I worked on was the ISO 2022 modernization project with Payment Canada, where I was helping one of the local bank here to implementing that standard, basically upgrading from the MT standard to the MX standard, which is the ISO 2022 standard. And apart from that, we've been building in this never-ending IT project, SpendTheBits, from 2019. We're still going. It's a 5-year and still building on this stuff. And we have lots of cool, exciting product that it's going to hit this market this month and the next.
Well, let's talk about some of those new and exciting endeavors that you're working on. I mean, I was just sharing your website here, which, I mean, you guys just released and upgraded today. So all of these developments are happening right now, and I'd love for you to share with the audience, what empowered you guys to do this rebrand, because I'm sure it's tied into some other developments that you're working on.
Yeah. So the idea was to provide interoperable payments to our clients, and that's what I demoed in the Las Vegas conference on stage. So from the tech point of view,
which you ended up winning that hackathon as well.
Yeah. We won 2 hackathons in a row. So the idea was to provide that technology to a consumer-based using a consumer-based application to empower people. If you don't have Bitcoin but you have some Canadian dollar or US dollars, you spend it, the counterparty will receive the counter currency, which can be USDC, which can be Bitcoin. So we built that tech, but the regulatory framework was not in yet. Two ways, from the government point of view and from the banking point of view. Hence the reason we pivoted a bit and we launched a totally centralized version of the app. It's called STB Cash app. It's a kind of it's inspired by UPI and the Paytm model from India, which is directly connected to your banking system in Canada, where you can onboard fiat money. You can spend fiat, P2P, P2B. You can pay bills, any MasterCard, MasterCard, Visa, or whatever your utility bills are, underlying tuition fees or whatever. You can also have customized QR code to accept payments. So the idea is to bring QR code enabled payments, interoperable payments, but we wasn't able to do that because of the lack of regulatory clarity and the banking sector. The CCP2 choke point, crypto choke point project. We was especially, I think I can fairly say we was the victim of that plan by the government. We lost banking to access in 2021, and it's been a very hard journey after that. But finally, last year we was able to accomplish the tier 1 banking access, which kind of a master account, where I can open up a bank account for a bank underneath SpendTheBits. So that was the idea, to do this. But from the regulatory point of view, we are still not there. So I can do a Bitcoin to CAD or CAD to Bitcoin, or USD to do USD to Bitcoin payments. I think the regulatory framework has to catch up, and once it's ready, we will be in the forefront. But up till then, we have now two versions of the app into the production system. One is the classic retail app that we launched in 2020, which is powered by XRPL. So we have some very good success with that project, but we hit a wall, because every time a new client is signing up on the app, we have to fund their wallet with 10 XRP to and that was something not feasible for me, because I ran out of all the XRP that I have. And we wasn't able to fortunate enough to to land the grant to activate those wallet. So in order to mitigate that, I had two solution, either to deploy my product on sidechain. By the way, we also have a product on sidechain where we have the hackathon in, but the sidechain is still not ready for the production release. So that is where I was in touch with Flare team, very nice team, awesome developers, group of developers. So I was talking to them, back in two years now, I think, and then we decided to started building on the Flare, on Flare. So this is where Flare can take the advantage of being. You can say there is no protocol to have a reserve in order to do the transaction. It's just you download the wallet, you went through the the KYC stuff, and off you go with the Bitcoin payments. Along with that, last year we also integrated within Circle ecosystem. So we treat third party exchanges or companies as a handler of SpendTheBits, who can route the money. Same way the correspondent banking work, we have the crypto app, which is SpendTheBits app, that works the same way. If you are doing a USDC payment on the app, on the Flare blockchain. By the way, we onboarded build USDC integration, Circle integration on the Flare. So we have a app that works on it. That will invoke the Circle master account. But if you are moving across the ledgers for Bitcoin payments, that will touch a Coston network. All the transaction touch Coston network, internal transaction within STB to STB, but external transaction touches the Bitcoin layer using the Bitco as a custodian partner, and USDC touch the Circle as our custodian partner. So these are fundamental changes that we bring on the platform. I think now the app what we have is really powerful. That means instantly you get a value proposition out of the app, rather than thinking about it what token I should onboard. So basically we try to solve the Bitcoin problem, but now we are at the stage we are trying to offer you you have Bitcoin, but end of the day the merchant doesn't want to expose themselves for the volatility or the user. You can swap it to the USDC, and then that USDC, we are working behind the scene with the banking partner. I can't reveal it, but it's also coming from USDC. You can liquidate and get the money back into your account in the form of Canadian and USDC. One more thing I want to announce, sorry to say that.
Keep it coming, Jay.
Yeah.
And this is a safe place. So if you want to leak names, feel free to do so.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
We are also working behind the scenes with Immersive team. So that is something they're powered up by MasterCard network. So in a month or two, we have another release within the Flare app that you will be able to invoke a virtual MasterCard, onboard USDC on top of to it, and you can go to any place where MasterCard is accepted. You tap using the NFC technology that we're going to inbuilt into the app, and then you will spend USDC. Your merchant will never know that what type of asset you spend. He will get the choice of their currency wherever you are geographically in this world. So if you are in London, you will get GBP. US, you will get USD. If you are in Canada, they will get a Canadian dollar via MasterCard network.
Now, is that you're saying going to be the USDC that is going to be on the Flare network? That's all underpinned through the Flare that you're defining.
Yeah, we have already built it. Actually, I prepared a small demo for you. Yeah. So
I'd love for you to. When are you ready right now, or do you want to talk about a few more questions? Because you highlighted a few things in the last few minutes here. We're talking about XRP reserve requirements, you building on the Flare, interledger protocol. What was that reason? The reason why you moved to the Flare was strictly to avoid those reserve fees?
Yeah. So we have right now, productions user where they are all powered up by XRPL app. We have renamed the app to STB Classic, right? But that app now has a when we launched in 2020, in 2021, SEC opened up a lawsuit against Ripple, right? And that's where all the exchanges pull up the XRP, trading pair from the exchanges. So my customer were asking it's okay, I can activate a wallet, but how do I do it? Where do I get the the required XRP? And for the initial stage, I was able to airdrop some of the XRP to activate their wallet. But when John announced that he's part of SpendTheBits, we go crazy with the downloads. But it didn't go much farther away. For example, on the utilization part of the house, because even though people are downloading like crazy, none of them know how to activate the wallet if you are not from an XRP community, because in Canada it's very hard to get your hand around XRP. And this is where we were also applying for grants. It didn't pan out our way. So that's the reason, I thought, why would we keep on waiting for something to change in the future when we already have, a superior technology to XRPL? Because, by the way, XRPL is still superior. It has proved itself versus Flare has to prove itself, down the line. But the technology was there. So I was talking to the developers. They said, we are going to introduce an interoperable layer on XRP to FXRP anyways, and we are also going to do with the FBTC. Why don't you look out in the Flare network? So that was the reason, we started looking into Flare. We like the tech that they have, and we build an app out of it. Now, at least, see, another thing to notice over here is, Ray, I did not build an app for Canadian consumer or US consumer. I built an app for the whole globe, right? For the whole world to use. But some of the globe, if you go into the Latin America, especially in El Salvador, where Bitcoin is a legal tender, if I ask my user right now, XRP is trading at 90 cents Canadian dollar, right? 10 XRP. Let's say $10 for activation, then you Bitcoin to XRP, then USDC to XRP, then any other currency to XRP. So lump sum $15 to $20 is the cost of just to activate a wallet. I cannot ask a El Salvador client to spend $20 to activate the wallet, because it doesn't make sense, because that $20 put the food for the entire table food on the table for the entire family, right? So that is the reason now we have a Flare version of the app where you don't need any reserve, right? And then you just download the app. That app is connected with Circle for USDC, is connected with BitGo for BTC, and we are also working with some of the banking partner that will help us to also onboard fiat into that app. So, the idea is, we're going to keep on building, iterating our functionality on Flare until this XRPL ecosystem catches up to the reserve. So once that happens, we already have the app. All we need to do is just push the changes to XRPL, and then let the user decide whatever they want to use. Let them use it.
I love the freedom that you're offering to those that are willing and able to use your technology or use Flare, use a SpendTheBits platform. You mentioned that you brought up El Salvador, and I'd like to know. Obviously, they are one of the earliest adopters of Bitcoin, making it a legal tender. Was that strictly the only reason why you are aiming to launch SpendTheBits in El Salvador?
Yeah, so there are two reasons, we took that season, to launch in El Salvador. First is obviously, the Bitcoin as a legal tender. This is our sweet pot under the hood. This is what we do. This is what we are champion at, to do the facilitate Bitcoin payments. But another reason that I wanted to, open up a company in El Salvador was to go global using their, their license regime or their policy regime. Right now in Canada, I can only go live in Canada. This is where we are pivoting, and we are moving some of the stuff, taking the heavy lifting from SpendTheBits, and we are redeploying that heavy lifting functionality company point of view in El Salvador. We have a separate entity in El Salvador that can do business globally, because the government policies are really cool, and they really align with the vision and the mission of this SpendTheBits app. So I think what we are looking at is once we go live, in El Salvador with this app, right, and then I think we can open up that app to whole globe to use. And this is where, we get a lot of critiques on Twitter. Hey, you don't exist, or you're fake, or you're scam, or this and that. The app doesn't exist, or app this and that. I think all those nonsense questions will go away, at least with this kind of stuff. And then you see, the idea is to empower people around us. Similarly, Satoshi, envisioned. But look at the frame right now we are in, right? So Bitcoin transaction takes 1 hour to settle. All the stuff still going on, and it's still gonna increase, not decrease, by the timing, right? So this is where I think if we can provide help to the people who wants to use this kind of app, be my guest and use it.
So you think that the time required to send Bitcoin across the network is only going to get more delayed?
Yes, because the more traffic on the network, the more it's gonna get delayed because of the consumption.
And that's not a scalable solution if we're trying to empower the world.
That is the primary reason we launched SpendTheBits. Actually, so far we only have one competition, which is Lightning, right? And I cannot say many bad words about Lightning, because I want to be tech neutral. I want to be tech to be speak about itself, rather than me speaking about Lightning. This is bad, this is bad. Let the user decide it, whatever they want to use. Maybe a high value payment system, maybe a low value payment system. Let the people be the judge, who will win this race using this technology.
Well, give us a little compare and contrast from SpendTheBits to the Lightning Network, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so the basic basic underlying structure from Lightning, how SpendTheBits work is I think pretty much same. We also rely on the third party custodian. I hope this will go away with the implementation of Flare testless bridge that we are still working on. It's gonna take some more time, because that's a very heavy lifting piece that we are working on, and that will fulfill the Satoshi vision to trust but verify thing. Up till then, we are at that point. We are using, a third party, custodian, a qualified custodian, such as big name like Circle, BitGo, to custody your, your assets. And on the Lightning Network, I think there are two, main problem that I see. First is you cannot send more than maybe 500 to. There is a threshold limit to sending a money through a channel, right? Not
Really?
only you pre-committed. I think it's $500 or maybe $1,000. You can send it at one shot. You cannot send it for more. But versus XRP or Flare doesn't have any kind of a restriction how much value you are moving out of the chain or on the chain, or a IOU you are moving on the chain, right? Even on the Lightning, this is still a IOU transaction, right? Because end of the day, you have to settle back on the Bitcoin network, and this is what we also do using the Flare technology and the XRP technology.
Can you highlight the IOU process and how it relates to the ISO 20022 payment standard?
Yeah. So the whole monetary framework of banking system is on the IOU. That means bank issues a primary, promissory note that when the day you will go back to the bank account and you give them the bank note, they will issue the money, or if you want to withdraw, they will give you the hard cash in your hand. That's an IOU obligation. The value of the SWIFT works the same way. Even with the ISO 2022 standard, nothing is changing. They're still working as the same way as the IOU obligation. The only thing that moves in the SWIFT system is the financial obligation with the financial message. Initially, it was an MT standard using MT 103 202 for B2B payment, bank-to-bank payments. Right now, it's PAX 8 and PAX 90 curve, or the PAX 90 advice. Bank-to-bank and customer payments. It's the same thing, different formatting of the message.
Interesting. Now, I know that we've discussed about the comparison and contrast of Bitcoin to the Lightning Network. We've talked about moving Bitcoin on the XRPL because of SpendTheBits. Would you be able to break down that process a little bit? Is there I believe there's a Bitcoin federated sidechain that hooks to the XRPL. Is that something that you need to leverage in order to achieve what you are doing?
Not right now. We are directly connected. We are invoking the main chain right now. We don't have that much of a confidence right now in the federated, Bitcoin side chain. We haven't played with it yet. But once we get comfortable, maybe we can introduce this part. But I think right now what we have in the app, it works, and this is what end of the day you want. Your app needs to work, or your product needs to work, and when you invoke any L1 transaction, especially on Bitcoin, right, it's gonna take whatever time is taking. I don't think unless you have a major changes in the Bitcoin protocol, this will get changed. Up till then, I don't think it's gonna get changed. But once you have your Bitcoin on the app, we issue your IOU after the first confirmation on the Bitcoin blockchain, right? And once you have that, and that IOU can be moved freely across wherever you want to send it using the XRPL network or the Flare network.
Interesting. Now, can we talk about, we're on the topic of your app right now, obviously. Do you want to show the audience a demo of your most recent, is this going to be using the Flare tech or
Flare?
Oh, it is. Okay, wonderful. So this is the most recent current version of.
This is the version from today itself. We was taking down the the domains this morning when you reach out.
Oh wow, on. Pressure is on.
Yeah, this has been going on since the beginning. The moment our website is down for 2 or 3 or 5 minutes, we get emails, we get DMs. We get text messages say, why is this down? I think this is
so my message to you was one of many this morning.
Yes, you was the 7th who told me that your website has gone down. And we wasn't planning actually we was changing the Netlify, some of the naming convention for the URLs that is getting resolved behind the scene. And we did not anticipate that our STB is also on the Netlify. That's why it went down, and we have to we changed the URL in the behind the the environment setting and all that stuff. But once we know that we already knew that we need to bring this up. So you were the 7th who texted me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here for you. I hope you know that, and I wanted to make also sure that the audience is getting a full dose of SpendTheBits here. Let me add looks like we want to add your phone to the stage.
Yeah, I added the phone because I wanted to do the demo.
There's a little echo. Let's figure out how we can.
Okay.
I muted the phone. Let me bring it up on the stage.
Now it should work fine.
Okay, great.
Right. So let me share. If I can share this to your audience. Can I screen share from here?
Right now, I have it looks like your phone is up on screen right now. So you might be able to can you show what's on your screen there, or do you need to? Let's see here. I can't hear you now. Let's unmute your. You got this, Jay. You got this.
Can you see my screen?
Which one? The one for your computer or your phone?
My phone.
Yes, I see your phone. Looks like you're adding is this another phone to the stage?
No. Hang on. I think I made a mistake. Hang on.
Take your time.
So from here, I want to share. So it's asking me share this to your audience. But when I click on it, it's asking me to log in. Can I hang on? Let me see on this present over here. I can share. Share.
Yeah, you can share from the computer as well.
Yes, hang on a second. So present screen share. Here it is.
Do you still want the phone up, or do you want me to take it off?
No, we have two. I have two phones, so I already hooked it up so that I should be able to do. Actually, I was doing a reverse transaction, but now I will do another way. So it's all good. Yeah.
Excellent.
So let me just.
You have another screen coming up right now. This is looks like your desktop. I can't hear you, Jay. Do you want to unmute yourself on your computer? The suspense.
There you go. There you go. So now at least you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, now it's off. Do you want to? We can't hear you, Jay.
Now you should be able to hear me.
There we go.
There you go. Okay, so this is the app that we have right now. So you see, I have some USDC, some Bitcoin in my wallet, and this is the version that I was talking about. This is on-chain transactions on the Flare itself. This is the Coston network under the hood where we are moving USDC and Bitcoin.
Is there any way to enlarge it, Jay? If not, no worries. I'm just hoping for the benefit of the audience because.
No, I think this is the best we can do.
Hey, so I'm glad you're on here. It's all good.
Yeah, so let me just do a payment. So over here, same concept. For let me show you some of the stuff that we have built. So if you want to build onboard Bitcoin, this is the screen you go. Deposit Bitcoin. This is your Bitcoin mainnet address, and this is your USDC across chain. So we also have implemented the cross chain stuff. It's called CCTP. You bring your stuff from Avalanche, have it withdrawn on Solana or near whatever blockchain you want. And let me do a simple transaction of USDC on the Coston network. So pay now, USDC, scan the QR code. And this is the pacing technology that we have built on. So, pay securely, insert the code. I think my biometric authentication first went through. Yeah, there you go. So now over here, the OTP will come on the cell phone. And the transaction, this transaction went through, and we can verify this thing on the blockchain itself. It should be on the Coston that you have spent USDC.
Wow, very cool. Now, that was obviously instantaneous.
Yeah.
How many transactions do you think that your platform can process per second?
So excellent question. Right now we are at the verge of whatever Flare can do the transaction. For example, XRPL can handle, they say 1500 transactions per second. I don't know how many Flare, but it's very, very fast. But there is one more technology behind the scenes we are working on, is Tiger Beetle. I am sure you have seen my tweets about it. So that is kind of a subledgering onto the ledger. So what that means is, we can deploy that technology, the Tiger Beetle technology, on any centralized version of the database or any blockchain, any blockchain we want to deploy that on. So what Tiger Beetle help us achieve is 1 million transactions per second. Now, it's very, very easy to say, but it's very hard to accomplish. I think we are halfway there. And we are working very, very closely with the Tiger Beetle team. First, we're gonna bring 1 million transactions per second on the Cash app. That's the centralized version that we just released in the Canadian, that is connected with your banking system, to achieve the scalability. And then we will copy that code, or bring that code, move over to Flare, and then to XRPL to achieve 1 million transactions, and then you can settle back on the ledger.
Wow, incredible. Okay, looks like this screen here. Maybe I reshare my screen. Give me 1 second. I want to just reconfirm that this is the same Tiger Beetle that you're referencing to the audience.
This is the same Tiger Beetle.
Interesting. What kind of name is that?
I think the name of the product is based on a story of the ant. So maybe it's best you reach out to them. Very cool guys. Actually, I met them last year when I was speaking at the Interledger Summit. Right.
Okay.
I was looking at their demo. These guys bring a Raspberry Pi, is a simplest version of the product, and then they are doing 150 transactions per second on the Raspberry Pi. So
Wow.
imagine if I deploy that, host that services to EC2 on the Amazon, what can it accomplish? And it's doing the same thing. So they are helping us achieve the most important stuff in the app, because we want to remain relevant from 6 months to 6 year to 60 year from now onwards. And scalability is something that will keep on seeing that, if, for example, in Bitcoin, it was somewhat scalable in 2010 when it started, but now every transaction in the mempool takes 20 minutes to 1 hour to just to confirm, and there are 6 transactions in the protocol to confirm. So scalability plays a huge part, and this is where we want to build the product right way from the get-go, so that we don't face these kind of issues. When we achieve the scalability, we get the final traction that we are looking for.
All I'm hearing, Jay, is the utility that you're really focused on and bringing to the market. I want to play a clip of a gentleman named Peter Schiff. He was on an interview with Raoul Paul and others, highlighting his beliefs or his perception of that Bitcoin is a fugazi. There's nothing there. It was made up. And I'd love to play this clip and then get your thoughts on as a follow-up. I'm going to press play right now. Give me a second.
But I don't think the solution is to invent a make-believe asset and then all pretend that that make-believe asset has value because of some artificially imposed constraint on supply, and ignore the fact that there's an unlimited number of other cryptocurrencies that exist that for most practical purposes are actually better than Bitcoin. They're cheaper to use, they're faster to use, to the extent that you want to use Bitcoin, which nobody does. It's not a very good cryptocurrency. I mean, it's certainly not a store of value, but it's not a good medium of exchange or unit of account. I mean, there are plenty of other cryptos that actually fit that bill better, to the extent that somebody wanted to use them for that purpose, but they don't. I mean, everybody uses a crypto to gamble. I mean, that's the main use case. And in fact, that's what's happening now with these ETFs. The ETFs have simply provided yet another way to gamble on Bitcoin.
What are your thoughts, Jay? Is Bitcoin a gamble? He mentioned Peter believes that there's other digital assets that may be more promising than that tech. Obviously you're working with XRPL and Flare for very specific reasons, for transparency, efficiency, scalability. What are your thoughts on Peter Schiff's words?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm gonna call him out on he doesn't understand the tech.
Call him out.
Same way I can say, hey, there's the air, but that air component has so many underneath components in it. For example, I can fetch the oxygen out of it. I can breathe out the CO2. We have H2O. We can't see it, but that doesn't mean they don't exist, right? So same way, Bitcoin network is a mathematical code. That exists on the network, and they say open monetary framework network. Anybody can buy and participate in, right? On the gambling side of the house, I think he's somewhat right, because right now Bitcoin hasn't got the mainstream adoption yet. But once that happens, we are talking about from the utility point of view rather than from a speculative asset point of view.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And there are other crypto companies or projects that are more focusing on the decentralized infrastructure point of view, deep in AI. We cannot all win in this crypto sector, but there are some projects which are solving real world problems. They are the one you should be putting your bet on if you really want to gamble. You see the underlying utility it can produce, you see the team behind it, you see the VC behind it, you see the the work ethic behind the team, and then you made up your mind if you really want to go into this team or not.
Yeah, you're talking about basically doing your research, deep diving the fundamentals, and on that very topic, for your fundamentals for your team, what are the thoughts on those that are you're in the trenches with building SpendTheBits? You obviously have in your corner John Deaton, a wonderful advocate from the XRP community and beyond, running for a candidate for running for senator for Massachusetts. Thoughts on Well, one, what do you think is attracting John to? What fundamentals do you think of SpendTheBits are attracting someone like John to your community? And then follow up to that is, yeah, let's first let's hover on this topic for a second.
Yeah, so John and I think now go way back. I think Ari is the one who introduced me with John. I think he was looking at when SEC sue Ripple on the lawsuit. I think he was looking for some of the developer which has not known to Ripple or have not taken any money from Ripple, and I was 100% qualified at that. But right now Ripple knows me because I just went to Amsterdam. XRP.
You're at Apex?
Yeah, I was at Apex this year. I spoke at importance of interoperability. But before that, going back to last year, before 2021, 2022, or 2020 or 2029, I don't think anybody in the community picks up our project. If it wasn't for Ari, we still be hustling around and making awareness around the SpendTheBits project. So she picked up the project, and that's where I think she introduced me with John, and we started talking, and it took me good amount of time to be comfortable with John, because I'm just a normal average guy. John was still a big shot for me. I met him. We made a lot of mutual. We had a lot of mutual understanding, and his reasoning was really resonate with me regarding the financial inclusion that I'm focusing on, because we are in the payment domain, right? I don't want to rip off my customer just to make money out of it. I want to empower them and then make a little bit of money out of it. That's what I told John, that this is what I'm after. We may not be, revenue surplus by 2027 or 2030. So make sure whatever you're asking me, you are comfortable, because I am into this in a long haul. And John told me, he has no rush into this. He 100% follow my vision, and it's okay if we cannot be profitable, by 2027. But luckily, after 5 years 5 years of hard work, finally this year was a game-changing year for us. We're finally breaking even, and by October or maybe month of November, we will cash flow positive.
Amazing. On the topic of finances, are you guys looking for funding at this time, or do you think there's going to be any potential opportunities for others to participate in any rounds for SpendTheBits?
Yeah, so right now, we are not exploring any funding. Whatever we have, I think we have enough right now on hand. Plus, I told you, right, we finally have now institution clients that are utilizing our software, and from that revenue, we are breaking even. And then we signed a couple of more deals with the institutional client, and they are also going live in coming couple of months. We are helping them, doing cross-border payment using stable coins. It's kind of crypto in, crypto out, crypto in, fiat out, fiat in, crypto out, fiat to fiat. So we are in this domain after we won the 2 hackathons. We are going to make decent amount of revenue out of it, and this is where we'll try to scale. And if that scalability doesn't pan out, then 100% we'll seek another round when we are ready.
One, congratulations on being at a place where you are generating revenues. That's a wonderful position to be in. Breaking even, it's better than taking an L. So you're doing better than others. Now, would you be able to share with those in the audience what those revenue numbers look like, or what your projections are a couple years out that you're trying to get to?
I cannot say for the revenue, projection, but I can say you from the volume point of view, because this is where, XRPL community has been promised so much, but has not been delivered up to the park. But one thing I can tell, by 2024 not 2024, 2025, mid 2025, same year, next year, we'll be crossing 1 billion, in volume on a monthly basis.
Wow. Incredible. Do you think that is going to be that
kind of growth volume on the XRPL, because that platform is powered by. So what we have decided right now is, for the consumer facing app, we're going to utilize Flare network because there is no reserve fee. But for the institution, we only need 20 XRP for one institution, and that will remain on XRPL. So we can bring the volume, the majority of the volume on XRPL, and slowly maybe one day we'll work out with Ripple on the ODL, because our platform is also on XRPL, and XRP can play a huge pivotal role into that payment scenarios.
And on that topic, with Ripple being a potential partner, do you think that growth potential, hopefully in the short term, will be empowered by you're obviously talking about, you mentioned earlier, the regulations are what are going to define the potential growth for the market. Do you think that would be timed with that growth you're speaking of? What do you think will happen with RLUSD when they do officially launch RLUSD on chain?
If you want my honest opinion, I'm gonna give it to you. So you see,
make sure it's soft. It's nice and sweet and soft. If you're gonna lay us down here.
Yeah. See, I'll speak truth. It's up to the community to decide. Even though Ripple had decided to launch RLUSD, which makes sense, 100% it makes sense, but it only makes sense for institution client. It does not make sense for retail customer. Let me tell you why. Because the core problem remains same. The 10 XRP to activate 1 XRP account, 2 XRP to RLUSDC, 2 XRP to Bitcoin, 2 XRP for USDC, 2 XRP for USDT. Same thing. It's an IOU version of the stable coin that will be launched. So now there are two things. Is it benefit for consumer facing app? No. But it is beneficial for institution facing platform. 100% yes.
Yeah, because to your point, it's having to pay those trust line fees is gonna.
It's
what? I'm sorry.
It's bananas.
It's bananas. Yes, it is. It's crazy bananas. Well, I mean, you got to pay to play. I understand that, and but. Hopefully there's some improvements. Maybe there's a vote in that there's a reduction in those reserves. Do you think that that's going to happen sooner rather than later?
I've been talking to them on this very issue, from last year. I asked them maybe do a something to educate the community that if you are a consumer facing application, this is what you can these are the problems you may face. Nothing happened. Then I talked about them, maybe give us access to the sidechain production readiness. The sidechain are not production ready even today, right? So, and then I also talk about with them to having something. There is if you look at XLM ecosystem, right? They have a sponsor account kind of stuff. This is something they told me, right? If you come to I was in Paris, I think, by the way, this year when they told me this thing. If you move your product to our chain, what we'll do is we'll make sure that whatever customer you bring, and after some DD, we will make sure we airdrop some of the XLM to activate their wallet, so that you don't have to take care of the activation. We will take care of for you. So same thing I pitched to Ripple folks. I said, okay, developer advocate, this is something, can you do it? So neither I got a yes, neither I got a no. So they will look into this. Maybe one day they will decide, okay, we gotta support these developers who are building consumer facing app, because like it or not, people can fight with me all they want to, but if you are a consumer facing application and you want to decide building on XRPL, you think twice because of the budgetary constraints. Nothing too against with the tech or the technology. It's fabulous. It's amazing. But once you hit at a growth, when you start getting the traction growth, and you have to stop in between just because you are not able to fulfill the activation fee for your customer, that's not a nice feeling to have if as a developer or a entrepreneur.
Yeah. You brought up XLM. Curious to know, because I was in a live stream last night with Jake Klaver from Beyond Broke, and somebody from the audience inquired about the differences between XLM and XRP. Jake mentioned that XRP would be more inclined to service the institutional facing community, and that XLM would be more inclined to service the retail. Understanding that this is from Jake, that XLM has, I believe, potentially a cap on how much liquidity that you can send per transaction. Is that accurate?
I don't agree with his point. Okay. He's just a one voice like me. I'm a one voice in the ecosystem. see, who dictates this protocol? The UNL dictates these kind of protocols, how much you reserve. If they decide tomorrow we will bring down the reserve to one XRP, or maybe in the maybe 0.10 XRP or whatever, right? Then all of a sudden you will have a tremendous builder starting to build consumer facing application, because now it's cheaper, accessible to all. It does not see the protocol right now, right now that are in place right now, they makes perfect sense whatever Jake told, but that's not a slated thing on the stone that you cannot change it. It's just a voting mechanism. It's an open democracy voting mechanism in place for XRPL. And the day UNL decided to to change their protocol, and then the reserve goes down, guess what? We are also in the same domain. We will be front runner, in this space on the application, because we already have a live version, in the production that is running, right? So there's nothing stopping us apart from the reserve fees.
In follow-up question, because in what I'm doing right now is I'm bringing up a gentleman, his LinkedIn profile on my screen over here. His name is Bob Way. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a couple times. He's a early Ripple developer. Are you familiar of Bob Way?
I have heard his name from Dirk.
Yes. He was I want to say it was on the, or is on the Expector team for I think he was their chief technical officer. Let's see here. Oh, chief product officer. It's right on the screen here. Regardless, though, I asked him, Bob, in passing. I said, "Hey, is XRP only for institutional investors?" And he goes, "Absolutely not." And he's like, "This was also created for retail," and so I think it's very interesting. I mean, it came from, he was I want to say the first developer or first person to process a payment or credit card transaction on the XRPL using a Marqeta card. And so he in a few different he showed me the card when we were in passing, and I thought that was he kept it in his wallet still to date, like a little souvenir. But regardless, though, that was from Bob Way himself. And what I thought was, why I brought his profile up, and it kind of relates to you, which I'll get to in a second, Jay, is when right under Bob's tagline, or under his name, his tagline reads, "When Alice sends money to Bob, I'm that Bob." and then when I saw your website, or because you had used John's name, like when John sends money to Luis or Lisa, and I was wondering, were you inspired by John Deaton to use his name?
No, it's just so we have a fake name website. It's part of the practice that we do. Even if you're in corporate job, you have to create a set of data that mimics the real time data in the production system. Okay. But you can think of 5 names, 10 names, but you cannot when you're running some performance scripts, which are going to do 20,000 scripting for the consumers, you will run out of those names. So this is where we took out that name from those website, take that data and then feed it in. And the same thing, actually I'm very, very bad of thinking about people name. Even right now, the demo I showed you is straight Flare FBTC, because that's what we are going to build, right? And then this is where it resonates with me, so I can remember it correctly. That's the only thing.
Oh my goodness!
Bob, I think Bob win this competition. I like when Alice sent money to Bob. I'm that Bob.
I laughed so hard.
For Jay as well.
For who? I'm sorry.
I should pick for mine as well, for Jay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're on line for Jay as well.
When John sends the money to Jay, I'm that Jay.
I'm that Jay.
That's good stuff. I'm going to bring up your website right now, because I want the audience to at least take a peek at it. It looks really beautiful, aesthetically pleasing. Good for you guys, and me personally, why I'm appreciative of this website. I'm going through the process right now of doing a development of my personal website. It'll have some blockchain features as well. I'm really looking forward to making some further announcements. But regardless, I want to talk about a couple more things before you take off here. I know that we are approaching the hour here, 1 minute from the hour. Do you have a few more minutes if we were to go beyond that?
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay.
Actually, I have one more thing to tell you after you're finished with this website.
No. Oh, you have another website you want me to pull up onto the screen?
Yeah, there's one more website we just I think published. It's called stb.com. I'm not sure if it is up. If you can try it.
Yeah, let me STV
stbcash.com.
Cash. Okie dokie. Oh. Share screen. STB Cash. Boom. Let's talk about STB Cash.
Yeah, so this is the application that we release in Canada, and there's going to be one more version for this application into the US very, very soon. So this one is connected with all the banking system in Canada. You can onboard fiat money on this app, do P2P payments, P2B payments. There's a merchant portal on this theme as well that we have built strictly with fiat system, and you can also pay STB Cash App to MasterCard, Visa card, or tuition fee, or whatever that I talk about. So the idea about this app is to bring a QR code payment system in Canada. I think in US you have Venmo app, but it doesn't have the business consumer facing side of the house. That means you can do P2P, you cannot do P2B transaction. This is where I think we have the upper hand, and this is where we are implementing the Tiger Beta to achieve 1 million transactions. So what it can do for you is you can send money in two ways. Either you scan the counterparty QR code and then follow the process to send the money. If you don't have someone QR code, you can type in their phone number. So this one is also tied in with your phone number as well. You can send money on phone number as a text, just for the ease of it. So this is kind of more of a Paytm or a UPI concept of the app that we have built. Until we are ready to do multi-currency payments that I showcase in 2022 in Las Vegas, until the regulatory framework and the banking sector catch up, we have the separate version of the app, and this will all merge up. We already have one version where we have everything. You have Bitcoin, Euro, USDC, US dollars, Canadian dollars, INR, everything in one place, but we wasn't able to launch it because of the regulations issue. I think the bankers start to jump around their seat when they see my demo about that thing.
When are you going to be demoing the STB Cash?
I think I can demo it next week.
Okay, excellent. We'll have to get you back on here, or at least share us the link, and then I'll make sure that we're pushing out to the community and audience.
Yeah, this is live. Actually, I did not I did not prepare a demo for this, but this is live in production.
Wonderful. But this is for only Canada residents of Canada.
Yes, only because as a money business, we have to get to license, and just because we have the tech, we just cannot go live globally. If you're on a blockchain like Flare, and then you're operating from a tech-friendly regime, which is El Salvador, that way I can introduce globally, just for the Bitcoin payment, because Bitcoin is a global asset. Canadian dollar is not a global asset; it's a national asset. Where Canadians do transactions. USD on the other hand, is a global reserve currency where any country can utilize this. So that's the idea behind it.
Is this going to be? Is this also leveraging the XRPL or a specific chain?
This is totally centralized right now. We are partnering up with in the blockchain ecosystem. Whoever will say us, okay, we will airdrop the required fees to you, to your customer, not to us. We don't want any penny for any of the blockchain project. We just want our customer to not go through that heavy lifting of activating a wallet. It should be by default activated. Up till then, it will be centralized, but on top of this, the Tiger Beetle will be implemented. So this would be very, very tech savvy, doing 1 million transactions per second. Even though we achieve 10,000 transactions per second, I'm still be amazed by the achievement that we have. One more thing I want to tell you apart from this fintech space is, Ray, I had a major breakthrough in the AI, artificial intelligence, I think 6 months ago. I don't think many people are aware about it, but I was able to crack most of the, custom agent part. So I think that would be my next startup, because I'm really serious about it, because now people have started reaching out to me that they really love my work, because people have started using the agents that I have published in Chat GPT stores. And so far I think I have published more than 100 applications over there. So people are starting using it every day. I get an email that they really like whatever I have built. So that would be something to keep an eye on, because the first POC that we will do is we will bring the AI capability into STB app and STB platforms, so that we start from the home and then scale upwards from there.
Are you saying that you're also developing AI agents or some type of bot?
I think 6 months ago I was in a space, I stopped sleeping because I think I have something which is everyone is looking for, kind of it's not a AGI model, but I'm very, very close to the AGI, super intelligence. So what I have is it can create some multiple agents based upon your custom requirements, and that works out of the box. Right, and then I just have to publish it, and I have published it so far for Tiger Beetle. They are using it and they are giving me positive review. I have published some of the BA and PM, from a corporate job point of view. People have started using. Every day 500 people interact with that bot. It's doing the stuff that it can do. So that's and then I tested this AI models on the offline chain for NVIDIA. I downloaded the offline model in my laptop, NVIDIA. It worked. I tested it Sonat Cloud. It worked. So I tested it on Gemini. It worked flawlessly. So after that,
this is a trading bot. Is that what you're saying?
It could be anything. It could be anything. It could be a journalist bot who can write press releases. It could be a translation bot who can translate anything. I created a Tiger Beetle bot that can help you as a developer, that can write code on behalf of you for Tiger Beetle.
Wow.
So you are not in the figuring out how to get started. It will tell you step-by-step instructions how to get started. I publish a developer bot which can code in 12 programming languages. People are using it. A commercial company is using it. They reach out to me. It's a software development company. They are using it every day. They said it's awesome. Then I publish one requirement persona that can gather your requirement, create a formatted document out of it. People are using it. I also created a crypto arbitrage where people can call the API to insert with the KuCoin and do the arbitrage, make money out of it. People have started using that as well. So
yeah, interesting. No, my wheels are turning, because ultimately it's that bot.
One thing I tell you is bigger than, because how can you categorize SpendTheBits? SpendTheBits is just a fintech, right? But it's bigger than SpendTheBits, because it also solves SpendTheBits problem as well. So any problem, even you have, let's say you want to do marketing, but you ran out of ideas. Guess what? I have a board that I have shared with people who are using it. It can produce from a single prompt. It can produce a month of content for you.
Oh man, send that bot my way.
So that's the another startup. John is aware about it, because when I was in Australia, I told John that, John, I know I've been swamped with STB, but there's one more startup that I would like to to start, because people have started reaching out to me. They really love it's really powerful. And I think we should approach that. He said, Jay, whatever you decide, just let me know when the time is right. So I think in a coming 3 or 4 months after I release, because we was building SpendTheBits from 5 years, we are at a stage now we are closing out the projects. The project are in the closure phase. That means we are going to publish whatever we have in the production in very, very soon, in a couple of months or a 3 months period. Once we do that, we go into the maintenance mode, and this is where we will stop active development on STV and will focus on the AI stuff.
You'll go where? I'm sorry, Jake. Can you repeat that?
Maintenance mode. So once the applications are live into the production,
what is that?
Maintenance mode.
Maintenance. Maintenance. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Sorry, my accent is
no. I just want to make sure that I'm tracking you.
Yeah. So are you familiar about SDLC, software development lifecycle? So there is So there is design phase,
Okay.
right? There is requirement phase, then there's design phase, then there's a development phase, then there's a testing phase, then there's a production go live phase, and after production go live, the last phase is the maintenance phase. This is where you see, if there is the bugs in the production, you fix it. You freeze the gold code. Basically, whatever code you have, you freeze it. You don't do any active development on that code, because that code is 100% bug free. By fixing the bugs and following the iteration. It's kind of a PMO practices. I'm a certified PMP as well, so that's why we follow these SDLC.
SDL maintenance phase. SDLC. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Want to.
Yes. So if you click on click on the red one on the right. On the red one. Go down. This one. So you see. So after the implementation, it says maintenance.
Yes, I'm trying to bring it up there. There we go.
So let me put it this way. So 2019 was the planning phase for us, and 2024 is the implementation phase. The next phase is the maintenance phase, and that's it. We are closing out the active development for 5 years, whatever we are doing, and we're publishing the stuff we have, the portals we have in production.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know what? While we're on this forward-thinking path, Jay, I'd love to talk about what the future roadmap for SpendTheBits looks like, and then also, and then if this is a separate question, but I just want you to be mindful of this and maybe rattle this one off next. Is, you got a lot of projects you're working on. What's inspiring you? What is getting you up every day and just continuously putting that next foot instead of the right foot in front of the left, and taking a bite out of this payments whale in front of you? What's inspiring you, sir?
The freedom of accessibility of this technology inspired me so much that I can participate and make a change to everyone's life. And that's what, still is my passion. My work is not work. My work is now my passion. And then the passion has only grew with the launch of AI, right? And that's what my, my main powerhouse is under the wheel, that, it's my passion. And then luckily I have surrounded myself with my like-minded folks on my team as well. We have a very good, amazing team of developers who knows what they are doing, exactly what they are doing. And then we have a set of advisors who advise me on the stuff. And then we have set of some institution sales guys who bring some of the institution guys to us to help us, at least to show them what we have under the house, and then sign a deal with them. And that's exactly what we are doing. And our future roadmap involves, more institution on the cross-border platform, bring on board, and then integrate this immersive MasterCard. And we are also we just signed another deal with the MasterCard and Visa kind of a guy as well, where we are bringing those services in Cash App as well. Yeah, so
you got so much going on, Jay.
Yeah. That's why so.
Where can people keep up with all the projects and endeavors that you're working on? Do you have
you will be surprised. I don't do the heavy lifting. The AI agents that I have created, they do the heavy lifting. That's why I'm always ahead of the curve, because by the time I just have to give them a command, and by the time I just look at the screen, it's all done for me.
Wow. You take a step away, you go have a sandwich and come back, and your bot's already done all the work.
When I was building this application, people was telling me blockchain technology is very difficult. Same way people are now telling me AI technology is very difficult. So I said, okay, let's do one test. So I handed over the app to my mom and dad. If they can operate that app, because they don't speak English, right? So we created a multi-language app. So if they can operate that app, we win. If they're not able to operate that app, we don't win. I give them the Bitcoin app. They wasn't able to do because of the secret keys, all others. But when I gave them the Cash app to test it out, my father was able to do whatever, straightforward. So, that's kind of a lesson learned for me. If I can, help my family first and learn from them, I can help everyone, right? The same way for the AI. even right now, when you are on the Flare app or XRPL, you will never see XRPL, you will never see Flare unless you are going to the Explorer and checking the proof of transaction, this happened or not. Other than else, it's very straightforward. It has everything to do with the user-centric approach that the user needs to first of all build a trust with the app, that their mind needs to tell them, hey, reopen the app, it's very nice, the UI is very nice, something like that, right? So this is where my thought process of building those applications.
Incredible, Jay, and I sense your passion, sir. It's a beautiful thing. That the topic of passion has come up a lot lately in past conversations or recent conversations, and the reason why it's well, for me, I feel like like what you mentioned is we're everything's fluid. We're doing what we want to do. We're on that pursuit of passion. We're helping others, and it's very fulfilling and rewarding, and it doesn't feel like work unless you're up at, like you mentioned, not getting any sleep, and it's 3 a.m. in the morning, and you're, oh man,
Yeah.
I got a live stream in 5 hours. I gotta get some shut eye. But regardless, though. What were you
There is
saying?
nothing in the SpendTheBits that keep me up at night, but there is a lot of things in AI. If I sit on my laptop 7 o'clock, I don't know when 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night happens, because I'm just working on it. So that's what keeping me up at night. STB is already sorted out. We are ahead of the curve anyways, and we don't announce things before we build. We announce things after we build. So we build it, we produce it, we test it, and then we announce it, hey, we have accomplished this. And the same process will follow, because we have already aligned our future work for next 3 or 4 months. We have already sorted out for that purpose.
Now, on that very topic, here we have Ripple, who announces RLUSD, and we're not using that yet. But based on that announcement, do you think they've already tested it, they're used it, workshopped it, put it in the sandbox? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's very easy to launch a IOU. All you need is you signing the Genesis wallet, and that's all. And then test it out with your it's RL is just it's a naming convention. This XRPL can mint any token, right? It could be XUSDC, XUSD, or RLUSDC. This is just a one-day job for Ripple. I wouldn't say 1 day, 1 hour job for maybe if David Schwartz is doing it, is maybe 1 hour it will take for him to mint a token, mint a supply, and then test it out, both way transactions.
Really? Now, how long or how much time do you think would it take to bridge the XRPL to Solana or another chain, if there hasn't been a bridge yet?
So for us, it takes 2 days to bridge to any chain. Forget about Solana, any chain, because we used, like I said, we use any third party blockchain or third party company as a handler. So we have a concept called handler, and in order to make a bridge to that handler, it only take us 2 days of development effort. For Ripple to do RLUSDC, I think they're gonna have to go through SDLC lifecycle and with STLC lifecycle. So there is a underneath SDLC, there is STLC lifecycle. That's software testing lifecycle. It won't be here, so you have to do STLC.
Oh, ST as in Tom. Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna.
That's called software testing lifecycle. So that has another life cycle inbuilt to it. So every major organization follow this. They build into the sandbox environment, they test it out, and then they push it to the pre-prod or a beta release to have a trusted member participate and test it out, and then slowly phasing out your production deployments based upon your results.
Let's see here. I'm pulling up a screen right now. Let's see, just while I got you here, got to provide that alpha and some visuals to the audience here.
Yeah, it's called STLC. This is
still. I put STLC. What's going on here?
STLC. Yeah. So just put software testing lifecycle. Here it is. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one.
Okay, perfect. So you start off at test closure, move to requirement analysis.
So you start from the requirement analysis, you make test planning, then test planning can create test cases, test scenario, you set up the environment, you run your code into this, you perform the test execution, there's a bug, you fix it, you put it into the next iteration, and then you fix it until everything is working as per your design. and then you close out the test cycle.
And then once it goes, you let that flywheel fly.
Yeah. So once it's in
Excellent.
production, you really can't test. You can test in production, but once it's live, it's live.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, wow. Hey, I know that we're 20 minutes past the hour here, Jay. I do want to ask you two final questions. One of them is a fun throwaway one, but I would like for you to at least understanding that you are a decorated developer in the blockchain space from finance. Would you mind sharing a pivotal learning lesson during your career path that either was one inspiring you, or either an aha moment that, hey, I can do this? Just if you don't mind sharing with somebody that's wanting to follow your footsteps and build their own platform, be at the helm of their own fintech company. What is a learning experience that you're willing to share that would help empower somebody that's, again, trying to follow your footsteps?
Yeah. So whoever trying to build in this space, do not hesitate to reach out me or anybody else. When you're starting to build out, people seems to be really shy about the product they're building. Put it out there, let the people to talk about it, and reach out to the concerned parties. Everyone has a plan. I has a plan, Ray has a plan, some other party has a plan too, but it does not matter. It only matter when you know how to execute your plan, because that will fulfill your dreams by doing something rather than talking about it. Enough with the talk. If you need to reach out, reach out, and whatever happens, as a human being, we always plan like this. We'll have a flywheel effect on the rocket, but it always happen like this. So do not worry about it. Keep going as you're going, slow and steady. One by one, you're gonna get there.
Thank you, Jay. And last question here. This is a mind experiment for you. Hopefully it's a good one. You're in a hackathon, and you're up against David Schwartz, the founder of the XRPL. You're up against Vitalik Buterin, founder of the Ethereum, and you're up against Emin Gün Sirer, founder of Avalanche. Who wins first place and why? And then who wins last place?
Yeah, it depends upon the on the hackathon, and the number of hand you have on that, and the expertise you have on the in that particular theme of the hackathon. If it is payment related, 100% nobody can beat David Schwartz. He is the master of payments, right? But if it is something else, maybe a gamifying thing or something like that, maybe Vitalik has more chance to do it, right? But if it is something, it depends upon the theme of the hackathon. I think we all have enough sharp brains to put it on, and then let the people decide who built the coolest tech. But I think they are all capable of doing, and in a proportional way they are competing even today. XRPL versus ETH versus Avalanche. So and this will. And the winner will be announced by, I think, post 2030, when the mass adoption will happen, regulatory framework will be in, and this is where and I hope by that time we don't have any consumer facing restraint on the reserve as well. Once this happens, there is no stopping people building on the XRPL. Actually, I really like XRPL. It's very sad to say that we pivoted to Flare because of the reserve issue. But end of the day, I have fiduciary duty to my shareholders and my company, and then whatever I build, it should make sense to me as well, right? So that's another thing.
Yeah, I think to your point earlier, where all of that can be changed through governance, and so hopefully through. It may take some time, but I believe that we're going to end up getting there. I think that's a requirement, because otherwise, I mean, it's not going to be conducive towards mass adoption unless you're doing something where the individual is, or you're providing a service, and that individual is paying a renewal fee, maybe monthly, maybe yearly, but it's accounting for those reserve requirements and baked into those costs where they don't know that they're paying the reserve cost for the XRPL, but it's baked into the subscription agreement. But regardless, I think that is another way that mass adoption will hit or where people won't be realizing that they're using the XRP under the hood.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, Jay, is there any final words that you would like to share or say with my audience here? The floor is yours for the next.
Yeah. So all my Canadian, folks, customers or users or wannabe users, please go into the App Store. There is a STB Cash app. It's free of cost to use. You can download it today. You can onboard money via Interact, withdraw money via Interact. In between, you can do free P2P transaction, and there is P2B, person to business component that is coming very, very soon, where your local merchant will be able to accept QR code payments. And we have also built a customized version of the QR code. For example, if you want to accept bulk payments, you're selling something off, on secondary market, maybe Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace. You don't have to print out every time a new QR code. Just one QR code will solve your all problems. So these are the kind of the stuff, and apart from that, you can also do bill payments, whatever, bill pay is there for the Canadian side of the house. You can do all of that cool stuff. So download that app and keep an eye open for our next release, which is the Flare SpendTheBits app. Actually, the original app SpendTheBits will be replaced with the Flare version of the app that will have Bitcoin payments without any reserve and USDC payment without any reserve. And we're gonna open up for the public for free of use. For maybe for a 6 month or a year for public to use it. And this message is also for El Salvador customers as well.
And again, the application is on the App Store and Google Play.
Yes. So right now there are two.
Name of that app.
So one is XRPL based app, that the existing app. If you have XRP download, you can STB Classic on the Play Store. And the second app is the STB Cash app. SpendTheBits Cash app is the same, concept of UPI and Paytm payments, QR code enabled payments, fiat payment that is called connected with your banking stuff. One more app, SpendTheBits, will be introduced when Apple or Play Store will approve it, maybe in a week or so. That will be powered up by Flare.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jay. You're doing a great job. The stoke is real and it's inspiring as well. This has been a pleasure hopping onto the live stream today, and hopefully everyone that's tuning in and is getting some of that early alpha, and hopefully Hugo Filion and David Schwartz and those guys are tuning in as well to see what you're doing with the tech that they built. Would there be anything that you
be very happy about the decision that we made, because we also bought USDC along the way, on Flare chain.
You think that Hugo would be impressed, or
he's gonna be happy because we have a lot of traction from the user point of view. Just we stopped marketing when John announced because of this XRP reserve, but that thing is going to go away because right now we just published in the morning, put the submission for Flare app into the Play Store that can do Bitcoin payments and USDC payments on Coston network. I think that will bring more traction on the platform from on Flare chain. I think Hugo and all the team members are going to be liking it. And then the next step for us would be to build in coordination with Flare team, the FBTC, the Flare Trustless BTC code.
I got to ask this question for my own personal sake. Jay, you've brought up USDC, you brought up Circle a few times. They recently announced their confidential S1 as they intend to go into the public markets. Who knows if it's via DPO or IPO. They made a announcement, even I think it was 2022 or maybe it was last year. Regardless, they had also had plans to go and enter the public markets. Do you think that would you be willing to speculate if there were any digital asset company to go IPO during a next bull run, like how Coinbase did in 2021 when Bitcoin was at its all-time high? Would you be willing to speculate of a company that potentially could be the next Coinbase? Would it be Circle? Would it be Ripple? Would it be Kraken? What are your thoughts?
I think the answer lies on the Ethereum, ETF. If that goes through, that goes approved, there is nothing stopping for any of these companies to go do an IPO, including Ripple, including Circle. I think this is the major thing that we are all eyeing on, because So you have Bitcoin on the one hand, and you have altcoin market, which is heavily dominated by the Ethereum chain right now, right? So once the ETH got legitimacy in the space, I think all the following project, whoever on the ETH chain will follow through all the stuff, and this is where I think they can go IPO and all the stuff. By the way, I'll tell you a cool story about Circle. How do I know them? So I apply for a couple of grants with Circle as well, and my grants were getting declined. So we made a partnership with the Digital Economist. They are partnered with the World Economic Forum, and they invited me to Paris to come out there, try to meet. And I was lucky enough to get a pass to go into near to the stage where Jeremy was speaking, and Jeremy was going developer this, developer that, and I started, I wanted to talk to him, and I went near the stage, and his bodyguard told me, hey, you can't go. I said, he's talking about me, the developer he's talking about, this is who I am, and I'm building on this Circle. And he's talking about me. So he said, okay, just wait there. He told me to go some places near the conference. So I went there, and he grabbed Jeremy over there. And that's the only moment I was waiting for. And I immediately opened up my phone, started doing the demo. The moment I did a demo, Jeremy said, you are the guys we are looking for. So he bring his CEO, his whole tech team. He introduced me to everyone. He said, listen to this guy. He's going to do a demo, and help him out however you can. So, I met all the leadership team from Circle. Very nice guy. They immediately got the use case that I was giving the pitch for, right? And then they introduced me to Immersive. Now, I forget that, the last week I was in Australia, I was with Immersive CEO. I was talking to him, but I did not know that he is the one who is doing the MasterCard payments using a Circle, right? So they introduced me back to Immersive folks. So that's why, I said, okay. So all of these leads, roads leads to back to Immersive. So they help us. Along with that, they help us, partner up with Immersive. So now we are working with Immersive to bring MasterCard for crypto payments.
Wow, congratulations. And then when you do use those, because I believe you mentioned earlier that this was going to be a virtual MasterCard, so you can hook that up to your Apple Pay, and then, as you mentioned, take that to any merchant that's using the chips. The NFC chips. Wonderful. Congratulations, Jay. Kudos to you. Looking forward to further announcements coming out to the broad community. Love to have you back sooner rather than later. Maybe we can get David Schwartz or someone else in the space, and you guys can go toe to toe. But we'll see. But any other conferences that you're going to be going to before let you go?
Not in the immediate future, but I'll tell you one more story about David Schwartz. So I met him on Consensus this year. Right, so actually, I was hesitant to go. I was basically shy because he is the creator of XRP. It's a dream come true for me. If I get to say him hi, but I was standing there, and he was looking at me. Before I say anything, he said, "I know you. You spend the minutes." That was a very big moment for me, that he knew me before I introduced myself.
Amazing. That, as he should. He should have said, I know you. You're Satoshi Nakamoto.
If I am Satoshi, then we are all our Satoshi.
Oh man, well, hey,
we are all and like you said, we are all bread calling house.
I'll take that. shoot, man. Anyways, Jay, this has been a quite the honor. I hope John Deaton gets tune in and witness some of the greatness that you've shared, or the alpha, and this has been a great conversation. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. And you're in Alberta, right?
Yeah, I'm in Alberta.
Yeah. I hope you have a great day up there. Eat some French fries and is it gravy? Is it French fries and gravy? What do you guys? You put serving gravy? Poutine. There we go. Have a nice big serving of poutine for me.
Alberta is famous for their beef. We have an amazing beef. If you eat steak, Alberta should be your stop.
Oh, you know what? I'm flying up there right now. We're gonna cook up a nice have ourselves a nice little family style cookout and
Very
enjoy
nice.
and talk about the things that we didn't talk today.
Yeah,
But anyways, I appreciate you, man, and I look forward to have you back very soon.
thank you.
I'm gonna take you off the screen, close this out. Love to pick your brain before you take off here. So just give me 1 minute before we close down.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Everybody, I hope you thought this today's content and interview was impactful. Please make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, as it really helps me lift this channel off the ground. If you have any questions for me or Jay, send them into the comment section below, and I'll be sure that we answer those questions in the order that they were received. I'll be back this Sunday. That's July 21st, and I'll be hosting another live stream. Actually, no. We'll be back later on this week. I'm hosting a pre-recorded production. I take that back. It's not a live stream. I'm going to be interviewing the CEO of XDC Network, and his name is Sunil Sapati. And also, we're going to be interviewing the CEO of Credor, and we're going to be talking about how they tokenize the first promissory note using XDC. So that's going to be a great conversation. I'll be working through Sunday. That video will probably go live, I'd say no later than Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So expect another production coming out very soon. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. That being said, I'm out of your hair. Love you mucho.